This is my 2021 Pro XP Ultimate, and I've just got the Polaris fender flare kit. We're doing quite a bit of mud riding, and I'm thinking that I want them. I don't know how they're going to look on there, but this is what it looks like without it. It's not a whole lot of, it doesn't even come out and cover half the tire. Front and the back's even less. So I got this kit and these flares you put on there. I thought it was all just a direct bolt on, but you have to drill some holes into the existing fenders on there and use those push pins on it, some of it. So I'm going to put these on real quick, and then tomorrow we're going to on a ride for St. Patrick's Day down at Walter's Ranch, where you can get out there and look for a pot of gold they're hiding. If you find it, you get $100. So about all that does is pay for the trip. But anyways, they've got like 7 inches of rain this week down there, so I know it's going to be really muddy. But this is what the factory fender flare is, and you can see it doesn't even cover half the tire. So when this thing is ripping, it is slinging shit everywhere. So I'm going to put these on here. I was hoping that you didn't have to drill any holes, because then if I didn't like them, I could take them off. I guess I still could, but then just put the push pins back in the holes. But anyways, I'm not going to show the installation. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to put these on, and then I'll show what it looks like after that. Okay, it took me a little less than an hour to put these on. I could have done it faster, I just took my time, but that's what they look like on there. They do actually cover quite a bit more, but don't look too bad, I guess. But we're gonna give it a good test tomorrow to see how much of a difference it makes. One thing I'm a little leery about is, but they're made to come off, are these mud flaps down here, these extensions that are down here. I got a feeling I'll be busting them off on the rock stuff, but you can't just set your ride up for one particular type of riding around here, because you got mud, rocks, everything. But anyways, that's what they look like on there. I mean, they look all right. It might not look quite as sporty as it did just with the original. You do have to drill a few holes, and they're all in this. They go right over your original fenders. All these are holes that you drill in there and then push those push pins in there. There's nothing hard about doing. I just hate drilling holes and stuff in case you wanted to go back the other way. Like I said before, if I decided to take these off, I guess you could just stick the push pins in the holes and it wouldn't look too bad. But I'll pick this a little bit of video tomorrow and let you know how they do. So they got to do better than what they was. So we'll cut this video off, and then I'll come right back tomorrow. Well, I wanted to make a quick mention of this before I forget about it. When I went to load this up on my trailer, before I look down, I can look down and see my tire where I'm putting it on there. Well, now with this fender flare out here, you cannot see the tire from the driver's seat. So I'm gonna say, if you're just in rocks and not mud, you probably don't want to do that. I can see why they didn't put the bigger flares on it, because there's a lot of times it's nice to be able to see that front tire. I guess I got my camera. I could use it, but I thought I'd mention that real quick before I forgot about it. But we'll see how it does in the mud. It's our first ride with our new fender flares. See how they do. I don't know if I'm gonna like them or not. You can't see the front tires now. We're off to look for the pot of gold, huh? Well, or I guess it's a leprechaun's hat. More than it was last time.
Yeah, it is.
Woo! We took in a lot of water. How's your side? Can you tell is that fresh or not?
There's cracks over here.
They look pretty fresh, but as soon as I thought it, all right, now we can nail into it a little bit. We've been here already, though. Hell, I about run over this, Janice, because I pulled in here and pulled out. Oh, how much? How much do you think it is? See, I told you they probably put it by some kind of natural marker. It's on a little skull head, too. Third. Okay, I'm just going to finish up here with my thoughts on these fender flares. That's what it started out being. They did a really good job of keeping the mud out of the cab. And we got a full windshield ordered whenever it comes in, a glass one. If anybody's had a glass one, I'd like to know how they held up. If anybody had problems with breaking a glass windshield. I was always leery about it, but anyways, the fenders, they really cut back on the amount of mud on the doors and stuff. When we were down there 2 weeks ago, you couldn't even tell what color this machine was after we had rode down there a day. But I should have had some pictures of this after we rode, but I wasn't thinking about it, and we stopped on the way home at a car wash and washed it off. But it made a big difference. When we were down there 2 weeks ago, you couldn't even tell what color this thing was. The doors was completely covered, the tires, fenders, everything was just big old chunks of mud thrown up on top and inside, everywhere. And it made a big difference. And then the only thing I don't like is I can't see my front tire when I lean out, and that jumped out at me as soon as I started to load it up, because on the trailer I always lined up my tire spot on the trailer. Well, now I can't lean out far enough to see that. That's kind of about as far as you can lean out. You can get around that. And I didn't like having to drill these holes in some of the holes are bolted on in existing bolts, but some of these you have to drill. The fender comes with the holes already drilled in the new flare, and it goes over the old one. You drill 5/16 hole down through and push these push pins in. It's good and solid, I'll say that. It might actually protect this light back here a little bit too. But they look good on it. I mean, they look like they could have came on it. But if you're wanting to cut down the mud, I'd say these did the job they were supposed to do. They cut it way down. And I mean, it wouldn't have to be this, you know, this is the Polaris brand, but I mean, there's all kinds of aftermarket stuff you can get that, and I'm sure they'd all cut it way down. And then, well, we was down there at Walter's Ranch. It was their St. Patrick's Day ride, and they had these little green leprechaun hats. They had 3 of them. They hid out there somewhere, and then if you found it, then they had something wrote in on what place you was in. And first place was going to be $100 and some shirts and stuff, and then second place was $50 and something else, I don't know what, and then third place was $15 and an air freshener that they made. And my wife somehow she spotted one of them. We run up there and it was the third place one. The funny thing is about it is, earlier in the day I practically parked right underneath it and we didn't see it. But anyways, it was a fun ride, something different. But on these fender flares, yeah, they work good, and you can see they don't look too bad on it. I mean, they look like they're made for it, and I guess actually they are made for it. But anyways, I'm gonna cut it off there. Thanks for watching.